In about an hour, we expect French President Francois Hollande to unveil a plaque for a young female police officer who was killed 1 year ago during a string of terror attacks in Paris. Amida Coulibaly gunned down Clarissa Jean-Philippe a day before he stormed a kosher supermarket and killed 4 people there. Police later shot and killed Coulibaly after a tense standoff. Erin McLaughlin is following this story and joins me now from Paris. Erin, what can you tell us about this female police officer and how will her life be honoured today?
Hi, Linda. Well, she was 25 years old. Clarissa Jean-Philippe was on a highway. She stopped Amida Coulibaly after a near car accident. Coulibaly shot her and then tried to shoot her colleague. His gun jammed and he somehow got away. The very next day, that is when Coulibaly stormed that kosher supermarket, tragically killing 4 people before being shot and killed by authorities. There will be a ceremony remembering the kosher market attack later today. In the next hour or so, French President Francois Hollande will unveil a plaque remembering Clarissa and her sacrifice. It'll be the latest ceremony in a week of ceremonies remembering the Charlie Hebdo attacks. It was a week that, of course, was interrupted by yet another attack. An individual, a man, attacked a police station with a butcher knife. He also was wearing a fake explosive belt. That is when authorities shot and killed him. They're still trying to figure out his identity, but officials here are treating that as a lone wolf style attack, and it really illustrates, they say, the problems, the challenges that people here in France face. Authorities are facing. Not only are they trying to stop the prospect of yet another elaborate attack, the likes of which this country saw on November 13th, but also they're dealing with the prospect of these lone wolf style attacks, people acting out of their own volition, perhaps self-radicalized. Those attacks very difficult to predict, very difficult to prevent. In the words of the French prosecutor, authorities here in France have no reason, they say, to be optimistic. Linda?
And Erin, talking about how authorities can prevent another attack, just explain the security situation there and how are people dealing with this? Obviously, these commemorations are coming less than 2 months after the last major attack, which left 130 people dead.
People here are afraid. They seem to be going about their business as usual. People I have talked to say that they are accepting of what the government is saying, which is that France is at war. People here also seem to be accepting of what the government is doing as a result. For instance, in the wake of the Charlie Hebdo attacks, legislation was passed that it would increase government powers to surveil its citizens, electronic surveillance. In the wake of the November 13th attacks, the government implemented a state of emergency which persists today, which gives the government more powers to be able to do things such as search homes without warrants. And then in February, the government is expected to introduce even more legislation, giving them more surveillance powers. This, of course, in a country that fiercely guards its civil liberties. And yet today, people here see these measures as necessary.
Okay, Erin McLaughlin, thank you so much for that update from Paris. We will check in with you again shortly.